So here we are at Grange Farm, Otley, on Plough Sunday, and we're thinking about Jesus's teaching about if you set your hand to the plough and look back, you're not fit for the kingdom of God. What did he mean? And as we think about it together, you can hear all the authentic sounds of the farm and the tractors going on behind us as well. Now, I belong to the tractor generation, and so it was a long time before what Jesus was saying about the plough made any sense at all, because I thought that ploughing sort of required looking back to see how the plough was running behind the tractor, and Jesus' words just didn't make any sense. And then someone told me about horse ploughing, and that quite apart from anything else, you feel like your arms are being pulled off or are twice as long as they should be, but that if you actually look back, you lose control of the horses and any chance of ploughing a straight furrow has completely gone. And yet it's something we all do, isn't it? You know, Jesus seems to be saying don't look back, but it's a human thing to do. And in this COVID crisis, which of us have not looked back and thought, if only, we just want it to be like it was before? And as we look ahead, we're just sort of going, well, we just want our lives back. We want things to be normal again. So what's Jesus say to us? Are we meant to forget the past? I don't think that's what he's saying. Every time a farmer sets up a furrow, he remembers how that field ploughed in previous years, where it held water, where it was stony, where the land was heavy, etc. And those memories and experiences help him to do a good job in the present. And I think that's like us today. If we remember the good things from the past, what made people kind, what helped people to relate to each other, what prevented loneliness, all these things can help us to understand how we're to behave even in the midst of this crisis. And the reminder of the goodness and the faithfulness of God is a key part of that, and is something that we celebrate every Plough Sunday. We celebrate the fact that through good times and bad, the land has been farmed, and that God's promise in the book of Genesis that there'll always be seed time and harvest has been kept. The crops have been grown and people have been fed. And that same promise of God's faithfulness can sustain us through this present crisis. So we need to remember where we've come from, but we also need to realise where we're going, to set our sights on love and goodness and all that God calls us to. Even now, when many farmers are ploughing, they'll use a marker, something at the other end of a field that they focus on, and they use it as a guide to help them to plough a good straight furrow. One farmer who was farming over in Lincolnshire was setting out to plough on a riverside field and chose what he took to be a tree on the riverbank as his marker. He faithfully kept his eye on it as he laid down his first furrow. He got a shock when he turned round to plough, and instead of seeing the straight furrow he expected, the furrow was making a beautiful curve across the field. It was then that he looked closer at his marker and realised that it wasn't a tree, but actually the mast of a ship going upriver. When you choose a marker, you have to be sure that it's one you can depend on and that will keep you on course. There is an old saying to the effect that those who don't know where they're going will usually end up somewhere else. So this Plough Sunday, we remember that Jesus is the one who gives us our marker for where we are going. In good times and in bad ones, let us fix our eyes upon him.